Back now on EA Sports at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa. Currently, it's the Buccaneers in possession of the ball as we get back into the action in quarter number 2. The Buccaneers in good field position. They'll start out on the ground with Jones. He'll get 3 up. To midfield.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Hurry up, here we go.
On second down, it's Jones. And he's over midfield and into Falcon territory. Vic Beasley able to make the tackle.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain considering the blitz that they just had against them.
Under 4 to play now. Clock running. Third down.
Hurry up, here we go. Green 39. Green 39.
Darnold from the gun. Goodwin able to haul it in. And they're going to be set up down around the 15-yard line. A gain of 32 that time.
Nice catch right there. Brings to mind the sentence, when in doubt, find your veterans.
I used to laugh back in the day when they would call guys like him crafty veterans. You get up in your 30s, you're still playing receiver, but you're around that long at that position, you're doing something right.
Just remember this, when he was young, he thought the crafty veteran was simply a guy who couldn't run anymore. Now he understands a little bit better.
A good pickup there, 8 yards on the first down completion.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there.
And down he goes. Pressure gets him back at the 14.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
3-19.
A play fake, and it's Darnold. And almost intercepted. Would have been a huge pick in the end zone, but as it stands, that brings up 4th.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
No problems in the field goal department so far. He's 2 for 2.
Pretty reliable here in this game, isn't he? And to me, that bodes well for them. If they need him late in the game, his confidence should be sky high.
And a good effort on the return there. Gets him across the 30 to the 33-yard line. Atlanta now coming out on the field. And still a lot of football to be played in this season. We're only in November. A lot can happen between now and January. But if it ended today, they would just be on the outside of the playoff picture looking in. So a lot to fight for.
Yeah, and wasn't it interesting in our meeting with the coaching staff that they all made sure to let us know, we know where we are right now, but the playoffs don't start tomorrow. We still got some time, and they plan on putting it together, formulating a streak, got the whole month of December still left to play. They think they can get in.
And this is caught inside the 15. And he gets this down deep into Tampa Bay territory. A big-time play there for the Falcons. 55 yards. Now a play fake here on first down. Forced out to his left. Give him a couple on the scramble. It's second down. So 2 minutes to go in a wild first half. We'll come back to Tampa after this timeout. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. Back to throw. Pitts. And this is caught for a Falcon touchdown. Calvin Ridley, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Falcons will add on to their lead. These two teams in this first half, it's been fun. Back and forth, back and forth. Well, it's not fun for the defensive coordinators, but offensive coordinators are enjoying it.
Yeah, they're having streaks here, aren't they? Being able to put scores together and really bunch them up, and we have a tight game here. You know, we often talk about having the right shoes for the right turf. Today it's track shoes. That's what we've seen with these offenses.
Yeah, it's been an absolute track meet so far and fun to watch. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But you also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
And they're able to get this one across the 35. Give them 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give them a first down. A first down throw, Darnold. And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. A gain of 6 there on first. Off of play action, Darnold. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked up by the USC man, Adoree Jackson. And they will set up shop at their own 46-yard line. Atlanta now coming out on the field. They're starting to put some space here. You know, first quarter, they didn't look so hot offensively. This second quarter, though, they've looked really good.
They've jumped in the saddle in a big way now, and now they're in full gallop. I mean, before, kind of cantering around a little bit, right, trying to feel their way, not getting done what they wanted to. But somehow they put it together with play calling, execution, and now there's a pretty big gap.
And they'll look to make that gap even bigger here. Off play action. Pitts. He's going to launch this thing way downfield. That's going to be caught. And he just falls short down at the 1-yard line. It's a big play there for Atlanta. 53 yards. Operating from the gun. Pitts. Oh, he had 6 points in his hands there. Couldn't hang on. Second down.
Not too many missteps in the red zone thus far. He was going for his 5th touchdown pass. His man couldn't shake free there, but boy, you know he's going to take another shot before this one's over.
Yeah, exactly, because you know 3 is good, 4 is excellent. You get 5. And that is caught. Touchdown, Falcons. Brashad Perriman with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half. And the Falcons will extend their lead. And that'll give them a 2-score lead here, but the final moments here in the second quarter, they don't want to give up anything on the other side.
No, not at all, because if they don't, it almost had the feel of an imposing their will score. And right now, they want to make sure they keep that and carry it into the second half.
And the Buccaneers getting ready to go as they take the field. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back.
And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. Picked up by Justin Reed. And he's able to get it back here to the 43-yard line. Both defenses have had their struggles, but they've been good enough to get them this lead, and another nice play there to help preserve the lead.
It's been a game of punch-counter-punch, hasn't it? All throughout. But this time, the big swing was taken, and it didn't land. Nice play by them on defense.
Now a throw to the end zone on first down, but it winds up incomplete. And that one goes incomplete. They tried something out of the bag of tricks, but it's incomplete and now second down. Off the play fake. Pitts. He'll rifle this one deep right side. And this is caught for a Falcon touchdown. Rashad Perriman on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Falcons will add on to their lead. Extra point from McManus is good.
I heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that could finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
Hurry up, here we go. Blue line.
On 1st and 10, Darnold. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete. I hate to sound really negative, but at this point, an incomplete pass, almost a moral victory that it's not picked off.
Well, you may hate to sound negative, but that was negative.
It was very negative, I know, but all these first-half interceptions, it's been tough to watch.
Yeah, couldn't find a silver lining in this one, much more like lead.
Another throw on second down, and this one incomplete as well. Some of the fans here don't seem too happy about what we've seen in this first half.
No, not at all, and I understand why. They look lethargic, out of sync, and it shows on the scoreboard.
Over the middle here, it's Hilton. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. And now we won't see a play on first down. We're going to get a timeout instead as they stop it with 16 seconds to go in half number 1.
Hurry up, here we go. Green 39.
From the 50, it's Darnold. And my goodness, another interception. Picked up by Deion Jones, the linebacker. Past the 20. And he takes this one back into the end zone, and the Falcon defense has a touchdown. So that's now 3 first-half interceptions, and that last one even costlier as it's returned for 6 points. So as a quarterback, how do you regain your focus?
Well, QB 101 says you never show them that you're sweating. Still act like you're the guy that you've thrown 6 touchdown passes, not 3 interceptions. But he's human. He's got to face up to his teammates. He's got to own up to that. See if he can brace up and also not look over his shoulder and see his backup starting to warm up. It's going to be a tough one for him.
Detroit! Set! Green 39.
And with time running short here, they'll simply take a knee, and that should do it for half number 1. And now a timeout defensively after that first down play. So they're going to make this offense sweat out half number 1. And with time running short here, they'll simply take a knee, and that should do it for half number 1. And now they'll take a timeout defensively. After the second down play, they burn the timeout, making them sweat out the final few ticks here in the second quarter.
All right, here we go.
And they will take a knee here. And they're going to take a timeout defensively. So with 4th down coming up, they go ahead and burn it and say we'll see what happens. Here's Brian Anger now as he's on to punt for the 4th time tonight. So, due to time constraints, we move you forward in today's broadcast to the beginning of the 3rd quarter. The Falcons back to receive. They've got the lead, and they'll get this football as the second half gets underway. This one taken just inside the 10. A beautiful spin and room to run. And they are finally going to stop him, but what a return. All the way to the 10.
Similar to golf, you never want to count a score before it actually happens, but you have to figure they thought they were going to get 6 on that play. Great effort to keep them out of the end zone, but a big-time return.
A very short field to work with now. 1st and goal after the great punt return. From the gun, Pitts. Oh, and it's incomplete. That would have been big in the end zone if he could have held on. Instead, it's second down. Boy, the numbers throwing the football just not trending in the right direction. Last week, he was under 50%. He's under 50% again here.
And we haven't gotten any.
And that is caught. Touchdown, Falcons. Calvin Ridley with his second touchdown of the game and 5th on the year. And the Falcons add on. And, man, Charles, talk about zinging something in there. Those gloves, they help with one-handed catches, the fun stuff. Any padding for a rocket like that?
One would think so, but I'll guarantee you this. After that throw, his hands will hurt later. Not right now in the moment. He's just feeling good about catching it.
Yeah, a little stinger, but a touchdown. Here comes the Buccaneers offense. They get their first reps of the second half. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep it warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting. Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Again, it's Jones. And this time he's not going anywhere. They'll get him down right at the line of scrimmage. Up from his linebacker spot, Deion Jones making the play.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
Might have needed just one more block. As it stands, 37-yard return. And the Falcons are set up well to begin their drive, as it'll begin in enemy territory already. They go play action here on first down. He's going to look deep for Perriman. And this is caught for a Falcon touchdown. Brashad Perriman, 49 yards. And the Falcons continue to pour it on. Extra point was hooking, but he does make it through. And the lead will swell by one more. Now McManus on to kick this one off. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. They are right now just ice cold. I mean, they have struggled big time in this game, and they're getting blown out. How do they adjust?
So tough, because we always talk about it being a team game, and you need all 11 working well together. But every now and then, partner, you need that one guy who can make a play against all odds that maybe can ignite things. And I think that's what they're looking for right now.
Yeah, you talk about going to your playmakers. They probably need to do it.
Find someone that you're used to touching the football that makes big plays and give them that opportunity to maybe wake up everyone else.
Oh, and now he bowls him over. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. They call his number again. It's his 6th catch and a first down.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either. I
think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice gain.
On first down, Darnold. And that's incomplete.
Oh, man, for him to be that wide open and drop it, sometimes you have just too much time on your hands, right? You end up thinking way too much, and your hands get shaky.
And yes, he's a tight end, but that's a catch he should have made. And this may be a carbon copy, as he'll again be stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Nice job there defensively to clamp down, because really they've been on their heels this drive.
Agreed, and they really needed that one for confidence, just to feel a little bit better. But I don't know if I would be daunted by them stopping me on one run. This drive has gone pretty well. I could come right back at him.
And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. Well, you won't hear any boos from this home crowd on that call.
No, not at all. And it's been a long day for this crowd waiting for this game. It's been a long evening as well. Finally, they feel they got a call.
After the penalty, it's Jones. And not even back to the line of scrimmage this time as they're on him quickly once more. It'll be a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd and 11. Well, he had 2 sacks earlier. Now he has 4 total tackles for a loss after that play.
Well, they obviously have to do a better job trying to block it. But short of that, you know what the quarterback has to do? Make sure he doesn't hand it to him when he's back there thinking he's one of his own guys. His quickness, his suddenness, his speed getting into the offense's backfield has been something else in this game.
Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
From the gun on 3rd down, here's Darnold. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And they work this near the 5. He'll be stopped at the 6. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. And with that last play, he's now up over that 300-yard mark.
And in today's NFL, it almost feels routine. And I hate that when you talk about a 300-yard passing game. To me, 300 yards still signifies excellence, and he's achieved that in this performance.
He'll get it up the middle. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Here we go now.
On 2nd down, Darnold. And he's got it. Out of the end zone, touchdown, Tampa Bay. T.Y. Hilton, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Bucs are able to get a score back. And it was a tight window. He knew he had to rocket that thing in there. He got it done.
And when you're able to complete one like that, your confidence has to just go sky high. You just mentioned it. Tight window, zings it in there despite excellent coverage. Result, touchdown.
This is taken at his 4th. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. Atlanta now coming out on the field. And last time out, another touchdown, and I think there may be some empty seats around here by the time the 4th quarter comes around.
Yeah, I have to agree with you because this one's just about decided. But
and for a 3rd time tonight, he's intercepted. Picked off by Matthias. Farley. So now he's equaled his interception total from a week ago. Remember, Charles, he had 3 last week.
And you know, all week long he vowed to take that number down. Told the guys on the team, don't worry, things are going to pick up. I've got this. But he is in a major league rut right now. Let's see if his teammates can pick him up along the way.
You're right. He talked about being cool, calm, collective, rebounding. Not rebounding right here. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
But you know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete.
That's very well timed there defensively because it's not a bad throw, but the collision came at the exact time he was reaching to bring in the football. Really, really well done.
Decent offense, just better defense. I think you're right. Back to throw, Darnold. And the Falcons get there. The Falcons get the sack. Down he goes.
It's been a tough one all game long for this offensive line. They're already down big, and now you know they're just going to come after the quarterback in a big way, don't you?
Yeah, they just can't get out of their own way right now. It's created an avalanche, and an avalanche is coming right on top of them. That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And the Falcons will be taking over 1st and 10. Atlanta now coming out on the field. And last time, one play interception. So this offense, they should be fresh.
That's a good way of putting it. And I can't wait to see what they decide to do with play calling. Because a one-play drive where you throw an interception, a lot of people think the very next time out, run the football, don't give them a chance.
Maybe play action?
I think maybe you go play action, show your quarterback, get a little confidence in him, and let him.
And that's caught inside the 35. A big-time play there for the Falcons. 54 yards.
Leopard!
Off play action. Pitts. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
His throw caught at about the 5. And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. A very nice pickup of 33 yards. Operating from the gun. Pitts. And that is caught. Touchdown, Falcons. Calvin Ridley from a yard out. And the Falcons add on.
And this is obviously quite a performance. And most of the time when we talk about someone putting a team on their back, I think we're talking about a guy who runs the football. In this case, it's a guy out wide catching it, and he's done exactly that. Truly leading his team right now towards victory.
3 touchdown catches. He's been the headliner. Here comes the Tampa Bay offense now heading back out onto the field. They've got to dig down deep. I mean, they need something right now, really anything to cling on to. This offense has struggled.
Partner, join me in a walk to their locker room at the half, okay? Because I think what we would have seen is an offensive coordinator and his assistant coaches getting together with all their positions, then coming together as a group, going over adjustments, and then the head coach coming in and just screaming, wake up.
Yeah.
Let's get moving, guys.
I'm kind of glad we weren't in there at halftime, actually.
I mean, you think you might have turned it on us, too?
Yeah, but right now, whatever was said hasn't been working. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. Call it a gain of 7, and it gets him a new set of downs.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
And he'll go on the ground. And unable to get downhill there as he'll take this up to about the 37. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. It didn't happen on that play.
And hard running's going to get him over the 40 to the 42. 4 yards on the pickup there as it'll leave him with a 3rd and about 4 more for a 1st.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the second level.
Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. They convert on 3rd with a gain of 22. If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man coverage with this guy, and that is less than ideal.
It is, because just about any offense that has an elite receiver, if you blitz and have him in man coverage, you're going to him even if he has an elite defender on him, because he usually knows where the ball is before the defender does.
To throw on second down is Darnold. And he's got his favorite target yet again. It's complete. And they're able to get this one past the 30 down to the 25. 12 yards there as they keep this drive rolling. It's another first down. And passing yardage-wise, now up over 350 in this game. Pretty nice performance.
Definitely that, which usually means you're putting a lot of pressure on guys trying to cover.
And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Buccaneers. A great play there. His second touchdown on the season. And the Bucs are able to at least knock this deficit down a bit.
And while no one on the offensive line will get the 6 points next to their name, they should be credited with this one. Tremendous blocking to get the runner into the end zone.
This one taken from the 7. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Off the play fake. Pitts. He's going to float this one deep right side. And that's caught inside the 35. Touchdown, Falcons. Brashad Perriman, 77 yards. And the Falcons continue to pour it on. And that touchdown reception is the 5th for him in this game, and that ties the NFL record.
And a record that's held up since 1950. This is another person that's tied it, but think about this. Bob Shaw said it in 1950. Kellen Winslow came along and tied it. And then, of course, Jerry Rice tied it as well. And finally, we're seeing it here one more time. Phenomenal.
Here we go now. Green 39.
Play action. It's Darnold. And he finds a man with a crossing route. And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the fourth quarter. A very one-sided affair. The big play to start him out has him at the 45 already. On first down, it's Darnold. Oh, there's that man again. It's complete. And he takes this thing way down into Atlanta territory. A big play there on the catch and run. 45 yards.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that and have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team towards a victory.
He'll get 2 out of that run, and it's going to bring up a 2nd and goal. Defensively, pretty good start there with their backs against the wall.
That's a win for the stop troops right there. And if I'm them, I get a little bolder now. They won the first battle. Keep coming after them. Put the pressure on them.
They'll give it to him up the middle. And he maneuvers his way down to the 3-yard line. A nice run there as he picks up 6. It's going to be 3rd and goal now. 2 straight shots on the ground. Now on 3rd, do you go to the air?
I think the possibility exists, and if you're doing it, you're probably going play action since you ran it twice. But I often think that 2nd...
And this is caught. For the moment, it's a touchdown, but multiple flags down, so let's sort this out. And yes, they want the points, so they will decline the penalty, no question there.
You don't think they spent a couple seconds mulling over what the penalty
I don't even know why they asked the sideline.
Not at all. When you put the ball in the end zone on a takeaway, take the points and keep moving.
Santos able to tack on the extra point as they make the score just a slight bit more respectable here in the final quarter of play. That'll be taken in the end zone. And all that worked, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been had he simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. Atlanta now coming out on the field. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you.
Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. And all the way down to the 29. It's a big play there for Atlanta. 46 yards. They have the nice cushion. They just want to pour it on right now, still throwing the football.
And I know my background says, why do you need to do this?
And this is caught for a Falcon touchdown. Brashad Perriman, 29 yards. And the Falcons add on.
And now we've hit that stage of the game, partner, where one of our predecessors, one of the great commentators of all time, he used to sing in this situation when this game appeared to be over.
I know the fat lady's been singing for some time.
No, not her at all. This is one of our guys.
But she's singing, too.
Oh, she's at least...
She's on, like, the 5th tune at this point.
She left Scales way behind, but he used to sing something about turning out the lights. The party was over.
And his guys are going to start their drive right at the 20-yard line. Now the Buccaneers offensive unit back out on the field. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked. But you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
So, Brandon, when this offense gathers together to watch tape for this game, they're going to be feeling pretty good about themselves until the coaches get upset about the play we just saw. But you know their defense is going to be. But we put up big points all game long. The defense is going to win one every now and then.
And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
Yeah, let me puff out my chest a little bit, even though I'm not rooting for either team. That was a really nice defensive play. It's awfully fun to watch, even in an offensive game.
Darnold will find Goodwin here on the right side. And they're able to get this one across the 35. They call his number again. It's his 6th catch and a 1st down. And on that last play there, he's over 400 yards passing now.
You know what that generally means?
Success.
That, and it means you really didn't miss opportunities. Usually very accurate. The ball's getting to the right place. Guys are making yardage after the catch to help you out that way. I mean, the whole team has picked it up. And don't forget, that means the offensive line has had to pass protect pretty well, too.
Everyone dialed in. Here's Darnold now on 2nd down. And now here's another interception. Dante Jackson picks it. And they have the football and will set up shop at the 33-yard line. Charles, whatever's going on between his ears right now, it's just not completely calculated correctly. 7 picks between last week and this week after that one.
And they always say the most important part of a player is those 6 inches between the ears. But right now, it's all those interceptions that are going on. So whoever his trusted confidant is on the sidelines, I don't know if it's the offense coordinator, quarterback's coach, maybe the backup quarterback, that's who he needs to get with now and get himself calm.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. Fair to say the secondary play, whichever side you're on, hasn't really been a glowing exhibition so far, but a nice job there to prevent a long completion.
I agree with you, but at some point, someone had to make a play and try and stop this exhibition of almost speed racing that we've been watching, huh?
Yeah, it has been quarterback and receiver dominated. Off play action. Pitts. And that's going to be too high. Out of bounds and incomplete. 4th quarter, you've got the big lead. If you're coaching, Charles, you still taking shots like that downfield?
I'd be a little more concerned with running some clock and making sure you're taking care of the lead, because you keep flinging it around, you throw a couple of picks, you can put yourself in jeopardy.
And it is incomplete. Dan Quinn's guys unable to come through there on 4th down. And the Bucs are going to take over with excellent field position to boot. So we were looking at each other up here in the booth when they went for that, saying, oh, wow, talk about trying to add insult to injury.
Some teams are just like that. You know, some philosophies, some coaches are like, look, when I get a chance to put some more points on the board, I don't care what the situation, I'm going to do it. And they're also the same coaches as a general rule that if someone does it to them, You won't hear a people protest out of them. That's just who they are. Hey, a lot of points have been scored in this game, but what a nice play by the defense. Stepping up on that one. Maybe they'll get things going in their direction after a play like that.
Absolutely nobody fooled there. He's going nowhere fast as he stopped behind the line of scrimmage.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
Now throwing on third down there, but he cannot connect. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
Brandon, at least there's one bright side to that incompletion.
What's that?
It wasn't an interception.
Wow. You're a nice guy. That was kind of savage. But correct. No pick, just incomplete that time. And Santos able to put this one up and through. It's good. And they'll get back 3, but this remains a large deficit. So still lots of work left to do, but here comes the onside kick. Well, in the grand scheme of things, those 3 points likely not going to matter much, but I guess they get a little closer, a little more respectability.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been outplayed all game long, but like my mom used to tell me all the time before I went out, dress up a little bit, son. Make yourself respectable. And that's what they're doing here. They're just dressing up the final score. So
out come the Falcons now. The outcome of this one, well, we know who's going to win it. It's just all window dressing at this point. Got me thinking, what's the biggest blowout that you've been a part of as a player, broadcaster?
No, I'm not going to.
And he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Atlanta. Rashad Perriman, 44 yards. And the Falcons continue to pour it on. McManus's point after is good, and that will extend this big lead. Now McManus on to kick this one off. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll get it up across the 20 to the 21-yard line. Now the Buccaneer offense set to take over again. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted. And we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though
pressure brought in, and the Falcons get there for the sack.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. Here's Darnold. Now they go screen. It's complete. And he'll be taken down, losing yardage back at the 9-yard line. He lost 2, and it brings up 4th. Well, you can see what they wanted to do. They wanted to set up the screen there, but it got blown up.
It's hard to run that play if you're not getting a lot of pressure at the quarterback because the space doesn't open up. They were able to read that one and slow it down and stop it before they could get a first down.
A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. Out comes Calvin Ridley and the offense for their next drive. Now, this defense, they wouldn't mind not seeing him again for a while. 3 trips to the end zone. How about that?
I think right now they would happily go to their general manager and say, is there any way you could get a trade for him? Bring him over to our team so we don't have to cover him anymore? Because he is really having a heck of a ball game, isn't he?
Boy, he is. I don't know that mid-game trade's going to happen, but good thought. They're throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. Off the play fake. Pitts. He's going to float this one deep right. That's caught inside the 20. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly.
There's no doubt in my mind.
And do you hear that? Do you hear the...
It's not scales, right? I don't hear scales. Do I actually hear a tune being warbled?
I think the fat lady's humming.
Yeah, she's doing more than humming. She's belting it out right now.
She's full bore.
Yeah, this thing is flat out finished.
Now McManus on to kick this one off. This is fielded at the goal line. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. So out come the Bucs now. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Great way to start the drive. 20 big ones and a first down. And on that last catch, Charles, he tops the 150-yard mark. It's one thing when your wideout gets that. When your tight end gets it, it's quite another.
We keep seeing the evolution of that position, don't we? Where we've seen where it's gone from strictly as a blocker to a guy who caught a few passes to now an integral part of the passing game, sometimes the primary receiver, because a lot of these guys have wide receiver skills, and we're seeing that on display here. Just think about the guys in the past looking back at this game and saying, sure wish that was me. I'd love to have gone out for those types of passes.
Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. Now it's Darnold. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Vic Beasley in there to drop him for his 2nd sack now here tonight.
That right now, that's a defeated team out there. I think you can see it totally in their body language.
Hands on hips, heads low. It's just been a struggle from the start.
Yeah, this team has been thoroughly beaten right from the word go.
Throwing here on 3rd down, Darnold. And my goodness, another interception. Dante Jackson picks it, and his guys will set up shop at midfield at the 50-yard line. Yet another interception, and I just had to double-check my math. But it is now 8 between last week and this week.
Well, I just used a calculator. I didn't worry about double-checking it. But the thing that always throws me when you see quarterbacks in this type of a...
Oh, wide open, complete! And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. And, my friend, I think it's safe to say that this game is pretty much deceased at this point. It's taken a knee, so to speak.
It is definitely this victory formation. Take the snap, take the knee, call it a night, call it a game, call it whatever. I agree with you totally. I don't think there's much left to get except for those who want to run up the score.
I knew this was over about a minute ago when you took your stat sheet and just flipped it over your shoulder in the trash can.
Yeah, that's similar to the guys cutting tape off right before the game's over. We know this thing's done.
Then he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest.
Don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Use that as ammo going forward.
Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today. Coaching, playing, the whole deal. And never forget it, because
you're not going to want that feeling again.
No, you don't want that feeling again. And who knows? You may meet up with this team again.
That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
Wide open receiver complete. They give him a gain of 37. Now they got to get to the line quickly. Darnold on 1st down. And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8. Again, Darnold. And now here is another interception. Picked up by Deion Jones, the linebacker. And they have the football and will take over at the 24-yard line. Gosh, you add up last week and this week now. That's 9 interceptions in this 2-game stretch, and we're not done here.
It's almost like they can't even believe their eyes. Or maybe, partner, is the confidence level in him so high that they believe he'll get out of it and make plays for them to win a game.
Well, they've said they believe in him. That's being tested right here. And that one drops to the ground. Incomplete. Clock stops here just inside of 20 seconds. 19 left.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
That'll be incomplete as the clock will stop with 14 seconds remaining. He was looking for Brashad Perriman, and it'll bring up third down.
I guess they figure with a guy who is that hot downfield, who knows how to get the ball into the end zone, you throw it up and give him every opportunity, even though that one fell incomplete.
Yeah, he's up. And that's caught inside the 30. And he takes it all the way down to the 3. And now with 4 seconds left, we get a timeout call. Well, they probably don't need to run a play here, but you wonder if they're going to be able to resist on first and goal. That one looks like he'll throw here. And incomplete. He dropped it in the end zone.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you'd better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
Yeah, when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough space for receivers to run through.
They'll go again from the 3 here on second and goal. They get it to him running left. And he takes it in for the score on the game's final play. So it doesn't affect the outcome, but a little whipped cream on top to their ending.
Or as our friends in Bayou Country would say, that's a little lagniappe, a little extra on top.
Extra point from McManus is good. And the lead will swell by one more.